enlightened and Buddha is Buddha now. So, so why so anyway, the sentient beings are like that. So how you can help? So without becoming a Buddha, it is quite impossible to help them in a profound manner. A true help, true happiness that lasts forever, that you want to do for the sentient beings, and that could be done only when you become a Buddha. So therefore, I want to become a Buddha. So that kind of body mind will automatically generate. So that is the result of those trainings, right? So now on the other hand, you can also practice. You can put two practices. You can combine two practices. There is no contradiction. So the self, exchanging self and others, self and others. So there, how do you train in that? How do you train in that this method? So you change self and others. So we are at the moment we are self-cherishing. We want everything for ourselves. We don't care others. So so now you change that way of thinking. And self-cherishing you change into cherishing for others. So for that you again, what is self-cherishing? So self is very important for us. We need everything for us. So that is called self-cherishing. You are clinging firmly for this firmly to the self, for the welfare of self, right? So that is self-cherishing. So self-cherishing, we have been doing self-cherishing right from the beginning. All the past lives, and this life also, right from the beginning, we have been doing self-cherishing. What you have received. It says in the Panchen Rinpoche, it says in Guru Puja, you have the translation maybe. If as a summary, but you put it in short. He said, we the child, we the children, the children are ignorant. They don't know anything, They don't know which is right and which is wrong. They are ignorant. So we are like that. So he said, the child, they have been doing self-cherishing. And then we have been doing self-cherishing right from the beginning till now. And the Buddhas, they have been doing cherishing for others. And what they have got, what they have received. You just see the difference. And then you will know which is better for you. So all the sufferings, they come from self-cherishing. A small example that we need something, So for that we need money. For that we do all kinds of efforts. We make all kinds of efforts. Sometimes we lie, sometimes we deceive. So any possible way we try to get that money. So for that we accumulate so much bad actions. We don't care. We don't know what we are doing. And so that comes from where? It comes from self-cherishing way of thinking. So self-cherishing, if you have the thinking, thought, self-cherishing thought, then you always accumulate bad actions. That will lead you to suffer, in the future, more and more suffer. And we are ignorant. We are ignorant of that fact. So self-cherishing is like, it's like the Panchen Rinpoche in Guru Puja, he goes further. He said, so it's like a very bad disease, like cancer or AIDS, Slowly it will drag you towards death. Like cancer and AIDS. Even if you try to get treatment, slowly it will drag you towards death. Similarly, the self-cherishing dragging you towards suffering world. So you must, Panchen Rinpoche said, you must recognize that the self-cherishing is the most powerful devil within yourself. Devil within you, evil within you. So you must fight with this. You must fight against self-cherishing, because this is dragging you to the ocean of suffering. So this self-cherishing. So now we must exchange self-cherishing into cherishing for others. So the cherishing for others, this thought will bring you all the benefits, all the happiness. This is the source of all the happiness. So if it is the source of all the happiness, it is like a jewel. It will give you all kinds of happiness. If you want good rebirth, it will give you good rebirth. If you want to be a rich person, it will make you a rich person. If you want if you want to be liberated from the samsara, this thought will take you to some liberation, nirvana, and to the enlightenment. So you must think all the time when you are training the faults of self-cherishing. So faults of self-cherishing. So it is the faults of self-cherishing is explained in great detail in Shantideva's book. So it's worth reading that book, if you want to train in this way for Buddhist mind, So at the end it's the same. So at the beginning, while you are training, you must think about the faults of the self-cherishing and the qualities of the cherishing others. You must think. And at the end, so how to help sentient beings, the ultimate the best ways to get enlightened and then help all sentient beings. That is the best way to help sentient beings. Therefore, we should attain Buddhahood. We should attain Buddhahood. which attain Buddhahood. That is the result, the Bodhi mind, you know. So here, Shantideva says, you know, if you don't exchange self-cherishing and others, you have no way to attain Buddhahood. And then even you would say, I don't want Buddhahood. Even you stay in samsara, even in samsara you will not enjoy any kinds of happiness. That is Shantideva's quotation. So another verse, Shantideva says, therefore, to pacify my own suffering and others' suffering, I would like to dedicate myself for others. And I will give up self-cherishing and I will hold the other sentient beings. I will hold other sentient beings and I will help them. So that is Shantideva's quotation. So now I go, otherwise we will not finish, you know. This, where are we? Analyze the unborn nature. This is the instruction on training in the union of conventional and ultimate bodhicitta. Purify the stone. No. Second point, key instructions of training in the true bodhicitta, beginning with the ultimate bodhicitta. So analyze the unborn nature of mind. Purify the strongest and negative emotion first. Because I'm confused because this sentence is not in this Tibetan word, because there are different versions, you know. So that's why I was a little bit confused. So anyway, you understand, even if this sentence is not in this Tibetan version, but you understand, purify the strongest negative emotion first. Even the remedy naturally liberates itself. That was explained yesterday. Rest in the essence of mind, the basis of everything. In post-meditation, know that all phenomena are illusory. Abandon all hope for results. Abandon all hope for results. That will come later, somewhere, I remember. But this... So, they abandon all hope for results. So actually that means you have people, other people, and then you don't hope for repaying your kindness towards them. That is what it means. Because I help them when they are in need, so they might help me when I will be in need, or they might anyway they might be thankful to me and they might give me some gift or whatever. So you shouldn't think it that way. The second, the instructions on training in the union of conventional and ultimate bodhicitta that we have discussed. Practice alternately the two, giving and taking. That's it. Only Nibbupema. So the giving and taking. So in thought, you should give all the best things within you, best qualities, like the like all the virtuous actions that you have accumulated, all the merits that you have accumulated, you give out, you give to the, you dedicate them for the sake, for the sentient beings, and take the all the sufferings, any kinds of suffering, you take into you. You take into you, right? So that is taking and giving and taking. And the place the two practice, giving and taking practice, upon the breath. Upon the breath, you know. So that is when you breath out, you send all the good things, all the good things that you have sent out to the sentient beings. And then when you breathe in, then you take all the sufferings and the karma, bad karmas, you know, the bad actions they have accumulated. So all that you have to take. That is mind training practice. Take into you, right? Then you have to take into you, right? So that is place the two upon the breath. The objects, 3 poisons, 3 roots of virtue. Change your conduct by means of the slogans. So that means only Nibu Pemarjangs, the Nilung Lakim Barchas. So while you are breathing in and out, you know, you give everything to the every good qualities, everything is every good things that you have, you give to other sentient beings, and take the all sufferings and bad things and demerits, everything you take into you. And that is also practice of exchanging, self-cherishing and others. So in that way, you know, you can practice more. So the giving and taking practice to make it easier to practice, then you practice with breathing in and out, you know. And then there are 3 objects. Because of that, there are 3 poisons. So as an antidote to 3 poisons, there are 3 root virtuous actions, right? So what are the 3 objects? That is favorable objects, unfavorable objects, and neutral, or pleasant objects, unpleasant objects, and neutral objects. Like your friend is pleasant object, like your enemy is very unpleasant object. The neutral person is neutral object, right? So similarly, any phenomenon you can describe in that way. And because you categorized in that way, to the pleasant object, you develop attachment. Unpleasant object, you develop hatred, and in neutral you develop the neutral action, that has nothing, it will not give you neither happiness nor suffering, So, there is 3 poisons. And antidote is the 3 roots of virtue. 3 roots of virtue. That is desirelessness, hatredlessness, and ignorancelessness, like that. So that is 3 roots of virtue. Train your conduct by means of the slogans. That means, since we are beginners, so even if we try, we can forget. So we must repeat sentences so that you can remind yourself that you must do in that way, you must conduct in that way. Like self-cherishing, others, cherishing others, cherishing others, cherishing others. Self-cherishing is bad, self-cherishing is bad, like that. It's just not good at all. Self-cherishing is not good at all, self-cherishing is not good at all. Cherishing others is cherishing others, it is good for everybody. So something like that. You make some sentence and you try to remind, through that sentence, try to remind yourself the training of mind. And then train your conduct by means of the slogans. The 3rd point, convert adversities into the path of awakenings. Among ordinary and extraordinary instructions, begin with the first. When begins and the world are filled with evil, convert adversities into the path of awakening. So it says the order, it says Lembe Korim Rangne Tam. The order, it should be like for the practice of giving and taking. So when you start the practice, you start from yourself. So that you start from yourself, You take your future sufferings. So because of my bad actions, I will suffer. So all that suffer I take right now onto me. So that like that, first you start with that, and then you start with others suffering, taking others suffering. That is the order how you start with the practice of giving and taking, And then, one thing that I would like to tell you, while we were training the mind in 6 courses, one result, or exchanging self-cherishing and others, if you have good understanding of emptiness, then you can also, when you develop your great compassion, so you can develop your great compassion through the understanding of emptiness, So because as we discussed earlier about the bodhicitta, ultimate bodhicitta, when you have the understanding of emptiness, then you know, when you realize the emptiness, then you know there's nothing solid. Everything is illusion. Right? Everything is illusion. Anger is illusion. Hatred is illusion. Even loving kindness is illusion. Bodhicitta is illusion. Everything is illusion. You know that. You see at everything like illusion. Then it becomes like you don't have much feeling, you know. There's no attachment, there's no anger. So you see that. But when you see other sentient beings, they don't see that. They don't see the reality, you know. And that's why they're clinging. There's nothing real, but they're clinging and they're suffering. So your compassion can be more enhanced by the understanding of emptiness. Do you see that? So if you have the understanding of emptiness, that's why you say that the more intelligent practitioners of Mahayana Buddhism, they realize emptiness first, and then they generate bodhicitta later. The less intelligent Mahayana practitioners, they generate bodhi mind first, and then they realize emptiness later. Maybe sometimes in the even not in the first path. The second, they realize emptiness in the second path, you know. So something like that. So when you have this kind of understanding of that emptiness, then you can think even more effectively. The great compassion. The greater the great compassion, sooner you can generate the bodhicitta. So that is, now we have to make all the efforts how to generate bodhi mind. That is our goal, you know. So in every possible way we should try. So try to thinking about the, what do you call that, emptiness and dependent origination, and then recognizing as mother all sentient beings, exchanging, suggesting, and others. Okay, then I thought it would be helpful to some of you anyway. If it is not helpful, you can forget it. Now, now, to giving a pleasure to others. No. Now, everywhere it is filled with bad deeds. You know, everywhere it is filled with bad deeds. External world is filled with bad deeds. And the internal world that is within you, external world also the external world and the other beings in the world, I think you can apply in that way too. And internal is within yourself, or the beings in this world, you know. So that is filled with bad deeds, you know. And then as a result of bad deeds, then you meet all kinds of adversities, sickness, different kinds of sickness, uncurable sickness, bad luck in business, bad luck in doing any kind of things. So that is unfavorable conditions. So when you see when you meet with unfavorable conditions, then you must try to take it as a path to enlightenment, you know. So, so when you suffer from any kinds of suffering, you know, sickness, or poverty, or whatever, you know, then you should think this is due to self-cherishing. I accumulated bad karma. As a result, I'm suffering. So now I realize I have found you, self-cherishing, who made all this, who made me suffer. So I have caught you red-handed. So I will try to destroy you. So because I get this kind of suffering, so I'm realizing the roots of the suffering. So I caught the roots of the suffering this time. So thanks for the suffering. You know, thanks for the suffering. Thanks for the suffering, you know. So convert any kinds of unfavorable conditions. That if you get sick, this is because of my self-cherishing, because of my bad karma, I'm suffering. And now, anyway, I'm going to suffer. Anyway, I'm going to suffer. It is already ripened. My karma is already ripened. So, please, you can pray to Guru, Buddha, Bodhisattva. Please help me to get all the sufferings of all sentient beings onto me. I'm suffering. So this suffering should, while I'm suffering, this suffering should be the compensation towards the sufferings of all sentient beings. Please bless me to be able to do this. So now you are converting your suffering to the path to enlightenment. You are practicing through that suffering, through that taking the suffering of all sentient beings onto you, on that particular suffering. If you are sick, I'm sick. All that kind of sickness should be compensated while I'm suffering of this sickness. Compensated, right? I think that is the right explanation. Okay? So that is how you convert any kind. So, and there are many ways, you know, there are many ways, you know. So, sometimes as I explained earlier, when I don't remember, you know, when you're suffering, you're purifying. Your bad karma is being removed, you know. So we discussed about the story of the monk, thirsty monk. So something like that, you know. So in that way, if you're at the beginning, sometimes you may not be able to take all the sufferings of others because you cannot take it. You are scared to take. I mean, it is In fact, it is not possible to take, but it is, you have to have that kind of strong courage to take like in the dedication prayer of the Shanti Deva, there are so many things which are impossible. He prayed, which is not possible. But that is his wish. He cannot stop that, wishing for that, He wished that he take rebirth in. There's one Geshe, Kadamba Geshe. There's a great Kadamba Geshe, I don't remember the name. There was a great Kadamba Geshe in this tradition. So, he said, now there's no much time. He said, death time has come, So he is about to die. And then he called his assistant, oh, come here. No, now it is not so good because I'm not being fulfilled my wishes. I'm not being fulfilled. I'm dying and I'm not being, my wishes are fulfilled. My wishes are not being fulfilled, I'm sorry. Okay? So then assistant came, what happened to you? You have been practicing Dharma all your life. Now you are worrying at this time. So what, the practice, where is your practice? What happened to you? He said, no, it's not like that. Please put offerings at the altar. I must pray. So now I get the vision of Pure Land. I'm going to take rebirth in Pure Land. And I have been praying to take rebirth in hell all my life for the sake of all sentient beings. Please send me to hell. And the hell sentient beings, take them to heaven. I have been praying in that way. And now my dreams are not coming true. So my wishes are not being fulfilled. That was his worry, So that kind of, you can do that later, but at the beginning maybe you get scared. So you can think that when I was suffering, your bad karmas are being purified. It might be good for me. It is good for me. It's the blessing of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that I'm getting purified. So it's, in that way also you can convert unfavorable conditions to the way to enlightenment, right? And there are other ways. So now we better go through the book Lalendra, where we convert adversities into the path of awakening. Second, among the three extraordinary instructions, the first is how conventional Bodhicitta is used to convert adversities into the path of awakening. Hold onefold accountable for all misfortunes. That is reflect on the great kindness of all beings. So hold onefold accountable for all misfortunes. So all misfortunes, who is the responsible for all misfortunes that you are facing? There's only one which is responsible for all these misfortunes that you are facing. That is self-cherishing. Okay? You cannot blame anybody else. We believe, I'm suffering because of you. We always do that, because you said bad words to me, because you did this to me, because that I lose money, I lose job, I lose whatever, I lose my peace. You shouted at me, because of that I lose my peace. No. Outside can do nothing, cannot harm you, Because, So, who is the responsible for all misfortunes? That is within you. You must find the self-cherishing. So therefore, you must feel thankful to all beings. That is Kulakatin Chavakom. Here the translation is reflect on the great kindness of all beings. But I don't, I'm not comfortable with that anyway. So my translation is, you must feel thankful to all sentient beings. And then, Chunang Kushir, the second is how ultimate bodhicitta is used to transform adversities into the path of awakening. Cultivate diluted appearance as the four kayas. So diluted appearance means all the appearance that we are having, all the visions that we are having, you know. So it's as we explained earlier, the illusion, right? So illusion. This is all illusion. This is all illusion, right? Because you know, if you think carefully, dream state and awakening state, there's not much difference. When we are in dream state, you check. When we are in dream state, when we are sleeping, when we wake up, then we think, oh, that was dream. Oh, that was dream. That was not real. But while you are dreaming, everything was real. You are suffering. You are enjoying. You are laughing with friends. You are enjoying foods. You are doing everything. Suffering is there, enjoyment is there, pleasure is there, misery is there, and you are also feeling them. But when you are awake, awake is different, of course. It's a different appearance. That is a different appearance. Similarly, we are in this world. When we die, the vision is gone. The appearance is gone. Then you have different state, a dream state kind, you know. Different realm is different state of mind. Intermediate state is different state, different level of mind, you know. And then you have the whole world for you is totally different. So it goes. It is just the appearance, how it appears, and we haven't realized the real reality. So we think this is the reality. We halt it. So we are suffering. So here advises there's all the appearance of the illusory appearance, you know. You can take as a four kayas. So it is, you know, from where it came from where. So you cannot find where it came from. So it is, so since you don't know where it came from, it is not born, so it is unborn. So when it is, so it is unborn like Dhammakaya. And then it is, it will not cease, so as Sambhogakaya. So it will not abide all the time. So it's like Nirmana Kaya. But they all are in one nature. So in nature, there is no separate kayas. So all the kayas in the nature, they are inseparable. Therefore, it is Dhammakaya, Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, Somakaya, Sobhavkaya, Sobhavkaya, okay. There must be Sobhavkaya. Thank you, I don't know that. Sanskrit was Sobhavkaya. So there's 4 kayas, So you think in that way. So that is also talking about emptiness, That is also talking about emptiness. It's unborn and no ceasing and no abiding and not separable. So they are all talking about emptiness, And then it says emptiness is the unsurpassed protection. So there's the greatest protection that you can have is realization of emptiness. Emptiness is the unsurpassed protection. When you realize emptiness, then you realize the reality. Then there's no more suffering. And 3 views are like the treasury of the sky. The unsurpassed protection of the yoga. I don't know what is he is translating, because it's not here in the Tibetan version. Anyway, I'll go further. The third is extraordinary instruction to convert adversities into the path of awakening. Mastering the 4 practice is the supreme method. So the 4 practice is the supreme method. So whatever you encounter in the present, use it in your meditation. So what are the 4 what does it say? Where are we? Convert adversities into the path of awakening, mastering the 4 practices. It says 4 practices in the supreme method. So what are the 4 practices? Actually 4. There's 4 practices in mind training practice, right? So the first is accumulation of merit. Second is confession or purification. And the third is giving thomas to the spirits. That you just make them happy and give them some toma or some kind of smell or whatever. We have the practice of giving smell, a particular smell we make from burning the sampa. You know sampa? Okay, burning the sampa. So that is you should made burning the sampa powder with 3 whites and 3 sweets. So the yogurt, milk, butter, 3 whites. Honey, honey, kara, puram, honey, sugar, puram, I don't know. It's a brown sugar, like, not. But it is very difficult. I tried many times to get the word in English. With English people we discussed, and with educated Indians we discussed. There was one word the educated Indians told me, I forgot already, and I used that word with English people. They don't understand that word, So there's a problem. There was a problem. So it is actually like a brown sugar. So you can use brown sugar anyway in this case, and then the word we will find some other time. Okay? So this is 3 sweets, 3 whites, So that powder we make, and more butter, you put more butter. You put more butter. The others just 1 spoon or something, little. And then we make the smell. And there's a prayer, if you want to learn, you can learn. So that gives to the spirits, that is also, you just put 1 spoonful of the powder in a, there's fire pot, and it gives some smell, but you are doing a great thing, because they can only enjoy the smell. They cannot, if you give food, they cannot accept it, because they cannot. First of all, they cannot see it, and they cannot touch it. They are like that, because of their karma. So they don't see. Even if they see, they cannot touch. Even if they sometimes they can, some of them they may touch, they may be able to touch, but then they cannot take them. So, and then even some of them they can take it, but then they cannot eat them. It doesn't go through their throat, So, and even if it goes through the throat, then it gives flame in their throat. Then it burns. They suffer. So sometimes, smell is what they can enjoy, and then you're doing a great job, And then that is also dead pain. So you repay a lot of debt through the small practice of these things, But we suffer because of our debt. Bad karma or debt is the 2 different aspects of one coin, right? So that is because of the debt we are suffering. All kinds of suffering. We are poor, we are sick, we are bad luck, all because of debts, our debts, different kinds of debts. Because, we accumulate bad actions through somebody, through some people or some beings. We cannot, normally we cannot, sometimes may be possible, but normally we cannot accumulate bad karma with a rock, If you hit the rock, you make pieces of the rock, still you don't make bad karma, right? But if the rock belongs to somebody, then, of course, because of that, if you break the rock, then you can accumulate bad merit. Anyway, so this is then you make offerings to Dhammapalas, to help you. So there are many ways why you like Dhammapala. Dhammapala? the protectors of the practitioners, they are called Dhammapala. The protectors of the Buddha's teaching, they are called Dhammapala. The protectors of Guru Tsongkhapa's teaching, they are called Dhammapala. So you offer some like black tea. You do that in this center, like offering to Dhammapala, and you ask for his or her help. So what kind of help you want after offering the black tea? So in this practice, normally you should ask them to help you to get all the sufferings, of sentient beings, get to me, and give my all well-being to others. So please help me to be able to do this. So at the beginning, you may be scared. You may not be able to do that. Then you can, in this case, you can ask, please help me not to meet any kind of obstacles in my practice. Don't get me sick, and so forth. So, 한이 가져와 주실 수 있는데 좋아서. You tired? Time is already 9. Tired?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's better to stop.
People do very shy to tell you. I'm very honest. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. So I will try to go.
Those who don't want to stay here.
Oh yeah. So I will try to go faster. So what was that? This Naja. What was that? This. That is the 4 practices, right? So, whenever you encounter in prison, use it in your meditation, so that you know. And the 4th point, implement mind training in this life. That is the 4th point, right? When we were talking about the 4th point, implement mind training in this life. So how to implement the mind training in daily life? The instructions condensed into their essence. Train in the 5 powers. The great Vedic teachings on death are the 5 powers themselves. Your conduct is critical. Now, the essence of the instructions, Menga Ningpo Durdiga. This Menga means essence. Ningpo means, Menga means instructions. Ningpo means essence. Durdiba means the instructions condensed into the essence. That is 5 powers. 5 powers. The practice of 5 powers. So I must explain these 5 powers. I don't know. 5 powers. What is that? The first power is intention. The power of intention. You should think often, again and again, that this day, this month, this year, and this life, I will practice bodhicitta mind, and I will never let this true bodhi mind, never let go away this true bodhi mind from me. So that is first intention power, Then meditation power. You must get familiar with these two bodhi mind, particularly conventional bodhi mind. So you must be mindful of bodhi mind all the time. Okay, that is to getting familiar with the bodhi mind. And then the third one is the white seed, power of white seed. That is, in order to generate bodhi mind, then you must accumulate merit as much as possible, as much as possible in every possible way. If you can prostrate, you prostrate. If you can circumambulate, you circumambulate. If you can recite mantra, you recite mantra. If you can meditate, you meditate. Even you are sleeping, you go into sleep with thinking of bodhi mind. So every possible way you must try to practice, accumulate merit. That is the white power of white seed. And then the power of getting rid of or abandoning, So that is whenever you get a self-cherishing thought, you must recognize immediately, oh, this bad thought is coming again within me. And this bad thought, right from the beginning till now, this has given me trouble, suffering all the time. So I must get rid of this. So you always push away this thought, self-cherishing thought. Whenever, first you must recognize. So how to recognize? You again have to tread, because we are used to it. We don't recognize. Even if you get the self-cherishing thinking within ourselves, we don't recognize that. First you try to recognize, and when you recognize them, when you recognize it, then you try to get rid of this immediately. So you must try. You need the power to get rid of self-cherishing, and then the power of prayer. That is wishing, You must wish. Now, from now onwards, till I get enlightened, I will never get separated myself with the true bodhi mind. And whatever unfavorable conditions comes to me, that also should convert into the favorable conditions for the practice of bodhi mind. So you must make prayers, you must wish in that way again and again. And that is one set of 5 powers. So he says, if you put the instruction as short and the summary of the instruction, that is 5 powers, And then the great vehicle teachings on death are the 5 powers themselves. Your conduct is So Mahayana teaching, Phowa means the transference of consciousness. The instruction of transference of consciousness of Mahayana, that is 5 powers. 5 powers themselves. That is, and this 5 power is the white seed power is the white seed power is that when you are about to die, that means actually, the practitioners, you can check when you get the signs of death. If you are going to die normal way, then you get signs of death 6 months ago, 1 year ago. You get, there are signs, it's like, far signs and nearer signs. So the far signs is 1 year, 6 months, like that. So if you get that kind of signs, then you try to do, you try to make your life longer with other methods. So even then you are not being able to get rid of the signs of death. Then you are quite definite that you're going to die. So at that time, then you shouldn't be attached to anything, anybody, anything. So your things, belongings, if you want to make offerings to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas and so forth, you must make offerings and give to the poor people and give to your friends, whatever. So you should not be attached to any of your possessions, So that is white seed power of this, the instruction of Mahayana transference of consciousness. So this is not according to Vajrayana, this is according to Sutrayana. And then the prayer, what you should wish is that you make offerings to Guru and Buddhas, and then you make prayer, you make wish that me, this time, at the time of intermediate state, and my next life, all the time I shouldn't be separated from this true Bodhi mind. Please help me that I will never be separated from true Bodhi mind. So that is the prayer, power of prayer, and power of getting rid of or abandon. That is self-cherishing. This so self-cherishing, and you should be mindful about the faults of the self-cherishing, and also the opposite of understanding of emptiness. So the faults of these two things are the main root cause of all kinds of sufferings. So you think about the faults of these two things and try to get rid of these two things all the time. So that is power of getting rid of or abandoning all the bad things, and the power of intention. The power of intention is that you must make a strong intention that I will never forget Bodhi mind in my in intermediate state, during my intermediate state, I will remind myself, body mind, even in the intermediate state. I will never forget body mind even in my next life. I will try to remember my body mind in my next life. Continue the practice. So that strong intention you should make again and again. That is the power of intention. And then the power of familiarity, of getting familiar with. So that is the power of meditation. So you should remember all the mind training for body mind that you had earlier in your lifetime, So you should remember that again and again. That is also power of meditation. So there is 5 powers, which is considered as the transparence of consciousness, because this, with this practice, you will never reborn in lower realms. There is guarantee. If you die in this thought, then you will never be born in lower. You will not be born in lower realms. There is guarantee for it, So it is for sure. There's assurance for it. And then conduct is very important. What is conduct? So that's your physical posture. The conduct here means the physical posture while you're dying. So unless you're so too sick or something like that, you must try to to do the similar posture of the Buddha Shakyamuni when he passed away. So you know how the posture. Anyway, he stretched his legs. He lay down on his right side and put his palm here supporting the right cheek, and then left hand was stretched on the leg, stretched straight on the leg, so that posture itself is blessed posture. So if you die in this posture, there's also again guarantee that you will not be born in lower realms. So because you are copying the posture of Buddha Shakyamuni when he was passing away, and certainly you can remember Buddha Shakyamuni. So if you remember Buddha Shakyamuni and if you die with the memory of Buddha Shakyamuni, there is no way to take birth in lower realms. So there is guarantee, right? So the conduct is very essential. So it's okay. Chulumni, the great Vedic teachings on death and 5. Oh, that's done. Now, the measure of mind training. All Dharma teachings, no. That's fine. Then, Chugum Gombachik Dubabs, all the Buddha teachings, there is one intention, there might be different teachings, but there is only one intention of the Buddha, So, Pangpuniji Tsorsum, that translation I saw somewhere, you are the all the Dhamma teachings are all for a single purpose. Right. So all the Dharma teachings are with one intention, that is to destroy the self-cherishing thought. right? So, and then rely on the better of the two witness. There are two witnesses, whether you are doing good job or not, whether you are doing good action or bad action. There are two witnesses. One witness is the other people see what you are doing. You know, you're doing good or you're doing not good. You are lying or you are not lying. So people say. The other witness is yourself. You know what you are doing exactly. So, but the more important witness is yourself, because we can deceive other people, you know. So you can pretend you are doing very good job, and the other people get deceived, you know. They don't understand. Maybe they can't read you properly, so they can be misled by your behavior. But yourself, you know what are you doing. So there are two witnesses, but rely on the better of the two witnesses. It says so, but it says you must rely on the principal witness, that is yourself. And then be sustained continuously by a joyful mind. You understand that. You are well trained if you can even withstand distraction. So this is called measure of the training. So how you check whether you are trained or not? How do you check whether you are now trained? So even if you are distracted, like you're watching you're watching TV. So for example, you are watching TV, and then self-cherishing comes within you. Some thoughts. Oh, he did it. This guy did something wrong to me. You know, that kind of thought, it comes to you. So you must notice. You must notice immediately. You must notice at that moment. So while you are distracted by TV show, but still when your enemy comes in, you immediately notice that, then you are trained. So that is the measurement of training, whether you are trained or not, you know. Always abide by the three basic principles. Now the commitment of mind training starts from here. Abide by the three basic principles. Whatever conditions that you meet, favorable or unfavorable, you must be able to carry on your mind training. That is one commitment. And you should never break the commitments that you have made for the mind training. And then you should never feel that, oh, I'm practicing mind training, Mahayana mind training, I'm practicing bodhicitta. You shouldn't feel pride of that. Oh, they're nothing. They don't know how to practice. They even don't know bodhicitta mind. I'm practicing bodhi mind, and so I'm practicing mind of training. So that way you can feel sometimes proud. So that kind of pride should not be there. You know, that is the three, what do you call that? What is that? Huh? Always abide by the three basic principles, right? Remaining natural. Remaining natural, transform your attitude. So your attitude should be changed. You should, your attitude towards others should be changed. It should be other-cherishing, not self-cherishing. But your way of behavior, how you behave, so that should be normal, as usual. I mean, you don't show that I'm practicing. I'm practicing mind training, and then maybe if you see somebody suffering, you go there and you do. You try to help them, but not. You shouldn't do over. You shouldn't overact. So to show off. So that is remaining natural. Transform your attitude. Do not talk about the defects of others. Whatever the faults of others may be, do not contemplate them. Abandon poisonous fruit. So these are others, you know that. Abandon poisonous fruit, that means all the actions, bad actions should be abandoned. That is poison. Even good actions, even virtue actions, which are mixed with self-cherishing. Here, that also should be abandoned. That is also poison. In the Theravada practice, it is not poison. But here, Mahayana practice, it is poison. So that also should be, that's the point, abandon poisonous fruit. Now you understand? Helping other is not based on returning favors. You understand that? It's easy. Do not expose the faults of others to irritate them. That you understand. Do not wait in ambush. Where are we? Do not expose for others irritate. Do not wait in ambush. Never strike at the heart. Do not put. So anyway, do not expose the faults of others. You know that. Do not wait in ambush. So here is that after abandoning the poisonous food, then there is Shung Sangpo Mate. That Shung Sangpo Mate, that means, that means that means actually you shouldn't keep the, we keep if somebody harmed you, and then you maybe at that moment you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything to reply, but you keep this in your mind and keep it in your mind. Oh, he did this to me. Oh, I never forget this. That day, that time, he criticized me. He used this word. So that is actually, in the worldly manners, it is considered good. Because if you forget people did to you, then it is you are considered you are foolish. You must be able to what do you call it? Back, Revenge. Oh, come on. It didn't come. So, if you are not being able to take revenge, you are foolish. You are not very efficient. But here it is other way around. No, you shouldn't keep it. You should forget it, and then do not talk about this. Do not expose the faults of others. That is the best returning favors. Do not. Anyway, do not wait in ambush. That is you keep in your mind, you know that he did it. And you wait the opportunity to take revenge. And that is not good, you shouldn't do that. You cannot do that. You mustn't do that, you know. So it's here is this word ambush is used in Tibet. The road is not wide; it's very narrow. The path is very narrow, and particularly in the rocks. In the rocks, you know, they cannot. They have no instruments, so the road, the path is very narrow and dangerous. You know, so if you wait there and you suddenly attack your enemy, then he can do nothing. He cannot go anywhere. He will fall down from the cliff, you know. And so you wait in that place. So you wait for the opportunity. You shouldn't do that. And then irritated. Never strike at the heart. Do not put an ox load on a cow. You know that. Sometimes like this sender, you have one responsibility, you have another responsibility, but somehow you let the other people do all the jobs. You know, somehow you can manage that. That is loading ox's load on a cow. You know, you shouldn't do that. Do not aim to be the best. Do not misuse the remedy. Do not use gods for evil. Don't say matter. No, what do you do? Be like a humble servant before all. Do not delight. Be like a humble servant before all beings that you know. Do not delight in the sufferings of others. You shouldn't feel that if your enemy is suffering, then you enjoy that. That is not good, not to do that. And then advice for mind training, right? So practice all yogas in one way. You know, now it's 10 o'clock. Okay. But do not delight in the sufferings of others. It is slightly. It is the meaning of this word is you should not look for happiness. Look for happiness no, you shouldn't wish for suffering. You should not wish. You should not wish somebody else in order to get you benefits. For example, if you are like if you have old parents and they have a lot of money, and then you wish that your parents die sooner so that you get all the money and possess and so forth. So that kind of wish should not make. So that is here. It's translated as do not delight in the sufferings of others. That is also fine. If you explain, then you can understand, right? So practice one, two. Practice all yogas in one way. That is, all the practice should be I think, the antidote to self-aversion, Practice subdue all obstacles by one method. And then the actions to perform at the beginning and the end. Beginning is intention, motivation, at the end is dedication and praying. Be patient with whichever of the two arises. Two arises. The commitments of the general religious practice and the commitment of the particular commitments of the mind, Mahayana mind training. No. So this subdue all obstacles by one method. The actions to perform at the beginning. The patient with whichever of the two arises. Guard the true event at the course of your life. That is, that is the general commitment and the particular commitment. Uncommon and uncommon commitment. Train the three difficulties. So the first, it is difficult to realize that delusions are arising within you. And then in the middle, it is difficult to handle with it. And at the end, it is difficult to discontinue with it. So that is three, what is it? Train the three difficulties, understand? Okay, keep the three main causes. Meet with Guru, a great Guru, practice Dharma in proper way, and all the favorable conditions. You make effort to get all the favorable conditions to practice with the mind training, right? So cultivate the tree without diminishment. It should be like that, no? Keep the three main causes. Make the three inseparable. Your respect and faith in your Guru should not be separated. Your feeling of joy to practice mind training should not be diminished, your commitment should not be diminished. So 3 without the 3 diminishments make the 3 inseparable. That shouldn't be separated from this practice with impartiality. All training must be pervasive and profound. Meditate consistently in every circumstance. Do not depend on external conditions. From now on, practice is the chief priority. Do not be misdirected. Do not be inconsistent. Train uninterruptedly. Train uninterruptedly. Liberate by examination and analysis. Do not seek recognition. Do not hold on to anger. Do not be moody. Do not seek gratitude. Chekawa explains that now he has the necessary confidence and he has the will to encourage others. So through my great intention and resolve, I ignored my own suffering and ill repute and obtained the instructions to defeat my own ego clinging. Now I have no regrets even if I were to die this moment. So this is the teaching, and I will just read out the Tibetan version so that you can get the auto transmission in Tibetan version too. And on the other hand, this translation is slightly different from the root text. And while I feel I may be wrong, I don't know exactly. So anyway, I would like to read this out. Lojong to do me zawa shuso to ji chembola changelo. 아무것도 달라져서 마디를 비시제 좀 열어서라는 오게잖아 저도 좀 이제 저 동네니 오배마자 되는 좀 유소도 계속 다른 잡아도 저런 거도 저기서 레벨 보러는 건데 이제 되면 제에서 레벨 꿀라거리죠 저런 곳이 보면 돈이 소관하면 좋아하시는 그 차라고 그러지 아니고 동화가 저서 동화 대신 또 보여다만 동화니 이제 주고 뭐가지도 방법이 있어 이대만 이제 연결도 좀 지도서 따로 누버지로서 연락이 뭐지 현재 가는 뭐 가정을 되어라면 도대체 세번 중 상봉만 샹에 뭐 창문을 내려도 저게랑 뭐지 저기 세마도 돌아오지 하도 뭐 이게 얘가도 내저도 지로는 지금 토다니 저기 요소도 가와서 뭐 주소는 좀 양반에 그래서 대매수는 유럽 처음에 다도 장을 제가 비교군이 고하는 그거는 따로 진신 다로 때문에 다른 소리도 걸어면서 저저 뜻이 장 다시 더지 유만 걸어면도 유서 버리죠 어쨌든 예방하고도 장소는 좀 하도 좀 셀리버리 좀 고자래 좀 그런 거 말바 마음이 두개 땅에 쳐서 다시 되기도 하고 다시 시험 로저 되면 싸워 줘서 로저 되면 싸워 줘서 so I think so we didn't have had enough time to get to give you more explanations, but at the end we in Tibetan we say we raise the horse, so fast. So this time we have to I just tried to point out the important points of the Dhamma practice, and then in 2 days, 2 hours or 4 hours altogether, we cannot explain everything. So you should. These are the points, important points I have pointed out. So you should try to figure out the points, and then you get more explanations and more. Maybe you can do more readings. I don't know. So through that you can develop mind training, and everybody we have the potential. So if we try to do, nothing is impossible. But as usual, we all have so many excuses when it comes to the practice of Dhamma. That we have so many excuses, And in terms of practice of worldly thing, then we have a lot of time, you know. So that is a very unfortunate part of us. So we all should try to change this and get more time to practice Dharma. If you have 1 hour, half an hour deep practice in a day, you will see the difference within 1 year, 2 years. Even we cannot do that. Even 15 minutes, maybe we are not being able to do properly. Then there's no way to see the result, you know. So that is the 7 points mind training, and I have given you the lineage blessing, which I received from, I told you, Kundalama Rinpoche, and who was a real living Bodhisattva. So if we get more time, some other time, if you are interested, we can do it again. So let's see for that, right? So that is for now. So please put in practice whatever we have discussed for the last 2 days, 1 day before and today. Please put them into practice as much as possible in the future. That is our request. And we dedicate our merit, whatever we may have accumulated here during this teaching, to flourish Guru Tsongkhapa's teaching in the world and among the disciples, particularly in this country and in this center. And finally, all sentient beings get benefited through the teachings of Buddha. 아니, 고도 가지고 살인돼 봐. 진짜 저거지 좀 와서